Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Off the Rip. What a crazy night of racing in Tampa. We saw Tomac, not sure if he was going to line up. A lot of riders went down. A lot of riders got claimed by tough blocks. And then the big one, Malcolm Stewart's first ever 450 Supercross win. It was so sick to watch. So sick to see James Stewart or hear James Stewart in the booth, watch it all unfold and be a part of that. So that was really cool. I enjoyed that. But let's get into it and let's talk about the wild moments from Tampa. All right, so we got quite a bit of wild moments that happened. So let's run through them. First off, Eli Tomac running over his leg. We weren't sure if we were going to see him line up. You couldn't help think and get those flashbacks from Denver 2023 Supercross when Eli pulls off. Oh my God, I was like, no, this can't be. Sucks to still see him, hurt and injured and getting a 17th, but at least he's not out. The tough blocks were just claiming riders all night, all day. Hunter Lawrence got claimed by that tough block. Jerry Robin had a crazy get off in the whoops. It looked like he was about to get squirrely. I mean, running up front, I would be losing my mind. And yeah, he lost in the whoops. We saw Max Volan have a huge case in the main event. Also, what was a wild thing about Max is that he's running a handbrake on his clutch lever. So that's pretty wild to see. And actually, props to him for still going out there and adjusting and making it happen. Pierce Brown, oh my God, heartbreak to see him go down in the whoops. Gnarly hit. And then the lapper situation, Kenny getting tangled in the sand. Could have been way worse. Sucks to see him out. Sucks that he lost his chain. I think that was the most wild thing, is that his chain somehow managed to come off in that wreck. Glad he's okay though. And then Chase Sexton going down in the whoops in that main event. We were anticipating a pass or something to happen, so we're already expecting something, and then he goes down and was just like, oh my God, it was pretty wild. And then the biggest wild moment from the night, Malcolm Stewart getting his first ever 450 Supercross win. So that was sick. But yeah, those were the wild moments from Tampa. Since we're on the topic of Malcolm Stewart getting his first ever win, that was so cool. So many people rooting for Malcolm in the industry, just in the moto community. It felt like we all came together and we were all rooting for this rider. We have our riders that we like and that we dislike or don't want to win or whatever. But it felt like watching this, everybody was just stoked for Malcolm to win. Even the competitor, or even his competitors like Cooper Webb, Jace Anderson, were giving him props. So it was just such a special night. I thought the way it happened too, him coming through the pack, it wasn't like he got the whole shot and just led and, no, he was ripping and just turning it up, going through the whoops, just a Stewart-esque kind of race. I was just so excited to see the interview. I love the way he celebrated. He was just so hyped, and you just could not help feel so happy for this guy. Also, they said this is just the beginning. So what do you guys think? You think Malcolm can pull off another win? That would be super sick to just see him gain all this confidence and just ball out the rest of the season. But that's enough talk about Malcolm. Let's move on to another rider, Eli Tomac. Man, seeing him run over his foot in practice, we weren't sure if he was going to line up. Just a bummer, just like, damn, you're just like, don't want to see that. And, I hope he can heal up for Detroit. But yeah, the question was he going to be able to top 5? And based off that heat race, it did not look like there was any chance. Pulls off the 17th, so he's got a lot of work cut out for him, because his teammate Cooper Webb looks dangerous right now. He looks super good. We're getting into the Cooper Webb danger zone, if you want to call it that. These are Cooper's style of tracks, and Tampa was another Cooper Webb style track. Very tight, rutted. So moving on to Detroit, who do you guys think can pull it off? I think Cooper Webb will get his first win this season there in Detroit. I thought it was going to be here in Tampa. I had him for first in the fantasy picks, so let's go into fantasy since we're on that topic. First place, the guy I thought was going to take it was Cooper Webb because, like I said, it's just his style of racetrack, and he looked good in practice. Second place, I had Sexton. Third, Roxon. Fourth, Anderson. And then fifth, Tomac. I was iffy about that one. Wasn't sure if he was going to be able to top 5 just based off his leg. And then this wild card, I was one spot away. I put Mitchell Harrison, and he ended up getting 16th. 15th place was Kyle Chisholm. So he actually was my second pick. I'm not even lying. But whatever. Next weekend we'll get him. So the 250 class is stacked. I was excited to see who was going to be the guy that just comes out swinging. And that guy was Max Anstey. Like I said in the previous episode, I think he's going to be the 250 East champion because of his veteran status. And also, just based off his interview, he's locked in for sure. Last season, whenever he won, he was like all stoked, you know. And now it looks like it's more familiar to him. And it's kind of like they say, all business. So I think he's just like expects to win, and he expects this championship. So he's going to be really tough to beat. But the good thing about now going racing instead of watching Instagram videos is that we got to see who looked good and who looks like it could be their championship year as well. One of those guys is RJ Hampshire. 19th place is not going to help him out by any means, but if he can string together some good races, we know this 250 class, the riders tend to shift around a lot with their positions. Also, super stacked. So these guys are going to be flip-flopping results. And he's gotten the job done before. He knows how to manage a championship and get the job done. So he is a top prospect for that championship as well. Another rider, Tom Vial. Tom Vial is a great starter, and with the class being so stacked, that's super important. We see how important it is in the 450 class to get a good start. So Tom Vial is definitely going to be up there. Third rider, Cameron McAdoo. His crutches, pun intended, is that he has a torn ACL. So he's hungry this year. I mean, obviously, if you're going to line up and race with a torn ACL, you definitely think you got the speed and the skills to pay the bills and get the job done. So he looks fast. He always looks good every single year. So one more rider, he's completely out though, was Pierce Brown. Huge heartbreak. So bummed to see him go down in that main event, claimed by another tough block. But dude, he looks good on the Star Racing Yamaha, and I was so excited to see what he can do on this new bike with this new team. And such a shame we're not going to be able to watch and see what he could have done, what could have been. So hopefully he can heal up and then bounce back and put in a good season next year, unfortunately. But he was looking solid in that heat race too. So, man, such a bummer, man. Such a bummer to see a lot of guys go down and are out. Anyway, looking ahead, who can pull off a win in Detroit? Can RJ Hampshire bounce back, maybe get a win? Will Max Anstey go 2 for 2? Or will it be last year's champion, Tom Vial, pulling off the win? We'll see who the track suits and what goes down next weekend in Detroit. So I'll be here on Off the Rip to talk about it with you guys. Peace.